Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Rest Stop Podcast. Today we have a special guest, my cousin, Mark. Um, he moved here from China at age of
I don't know, 8th grade.
8th grade. And he's been taking school here in New Jersey. And we hope that he's gonna bring a lot of insight into the podcast. So today's episode topic is going to be about our elementary and middle school experience, and then also talking more about life once again. So let's just start off with it. First grade. I started off at one elementary school, then I moved to one halfway through the year. Was really shy, didn't have many friends. It was kind of a struggle year trying to fit in. What about you?
Yeah, same here. I was pretty shy throughout elementary school. First grade, I met this one guy named Gabriel. We really connected on the playground. That was fun.
Sounds kind of weird though.
Okay, well, yeah, we played tag and like normal stuff. Yeah, don't really remember much.
What about your first grade?
Yeah, I don't really remember much from elementary school too. So I've grown up in China before I moved here to study abroad. So my elementary school experience is actually not that much of difference than yours. I was kind of shy back then. I mean, I'm still shy right now. And I don't really remember much from first grade. So,
Did you have like plenty of friends? Were you able
I mean, I have a couple of friends, but definitely not the popular ones. But
to? I feel like that's pretty common.
Yeah, like throughout, like not like even right now.
Yeah. Well, as we made it through the years of elementary school, we kind of made new friends, had different classes with different people, and I felt like I was not popular at all. Like I was one of the shy ones that just sits there and doesn't really speak up. But in 5th grade, with the spelling bee, I ended up winning that, which was one of my proudest achievements of my entire life so far, which is quite sad because that's all I have to show. After the spelling bee, I won at school. I went to districts, but then I messed up terribly, so that ended quite quickly. You have anything that you achieved?
No, I remember spelling bee and geography bee. I would always be like one of the first, or like in the first couple rounds, I would mess up on a dumb thing, or I'd get like dumb questions that like unfair, like
Yeah.
a state flower. That's what I got in 6th grade. It was some state's flower. Like how are you supposed to know that?
In 5th grade, I had this for geography B. It was like the last 3 people. They all got like easy questions, and then I got asked, "What is Prague the capital of?" At that time, I had no idea. The other 2 people had no idea either, so I ended up losing that. I was kind of disappointed in myself. Did you achieve anything?
yeah, in elementary school, like in 5th or 6th grade, I was really into science back then, so I did this kind of like a little research project, say, and I went the district. I think it was the first prize, but it's not the first one. And although I didn't move on to the bigger,
Competition.
the larger round,
Larger.
yeah, but it was still a big thing to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything's big when you're small, right?
I actually have a fun story about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like after I won it, so like the schools will have this took a picture of me and posted on outside the wall of my school.
Mhm.
So at that time, I was playing soccer with some of my friends, and somebody was kicking the ball really hard, and uh, it was a curving ball, and I moved in the exact direction where the ball is coming, and it hit right into my face, and I got this um, black spot on my left eye, I think, and that's when the picture was taken. So I had this picture of me with this black eye for like probably 1 or 2 years. Yeah, memories.
Let's talk about social media in elementary school.
I have none.
Yeah, I didn't have a phone, nothing really. Social media wasn't really that big when we were in elementary school. Makes us sound kind of old.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure people started getting it in 6th grade, but I had no phone until 7th grade, which is kind of sad because we had this project in 7th grade for social studies, and we needed to contact each other, and I had to give everybody else my email instead of my phone number. And then everybody else was like, "Oh, it's fine. We'll just use email then." Felt kind of bad.
You know, I don't think I even have an email back then.
Yeah. All right. In middle school was a rocky road, but it all came back together. 7th grade, nothing really happened. I just remember we had every one of us had to do a volunteer project, and then we had to give a presentation about it. I was always bad at presentations. I would get nervous, mess up word stutter, all that stuff. And I even got a basketball on my volunteer project one, which was really sad. Like, I've done something, I've gone out there and helped clean up a park, and they give me a bad grade because I couldn't tell them perfectly. Well, 8th grade science fair that was a roller coaster. We had to select our own topic, and somehow we ended up with the same exact topic pretty much. You know, it was about how music affects studying behavior, and it was just a disaster. It took all year, and my experiments were like not organized at all. Produced like non-reliable results, and at the science fair competition, it was an overall failure.
Pretty much the same here. The judges, they did not like the way I experimented because, like, I mean, my sample size was, like, very small. I didn't have any people to test on. So they went, "Oh, so if one of those is flawed, then your whole experiment is gone." I'm like, "Oh, I guess so." And, yeah, and then for my teacher, we had, like, OneNote, and then we had these tip sheets. And they were like, every week you have to do one of them. So it was like coming up with a question, doing like some research or background, writing a paper, coming up with a method, finding people. Like each of these was a separate tip sheet. And I remember I would do all of these like the last day, midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And it was horrible. And then for the final project too, I waited till pretty much the last day to do most of it, like put the poster together, print everything out. I was at his house for like 2 hours printing like at least 100 pages of paper. It was like all over research and like papers, and it was all bad.
Yeah, I felt like it was just a big waste of time.
It was a waste of paper too.
Yeah.
Nobody read it. I didn't read it.
Yeah. You probably had plenty of science experiments, right?
Science experiments in middle school. Actually, so when I was in elementary school, so this competition was for both elementary school and for middle school, but I don't know why, but probably doing other things like flight simulation and all that stuff. So I didn't focus on doing the science experiment stuff. We also don't have a science fair back in our middle school. Like, we have a science fair, but it's not like the science fair we have in the U.S. where every student or 2 or 3 people can create a project, do a research, and share the results. We just had this affair where they invite people from like
Science industries.
science industries companies and some toy companies to our school and just introduce those topics. But other from that, middle school, I enjoyed the science classes, that's for sure. But there's no like experience and stuff. But yeah, I think the highlight of my middle school is like the flight simulation thing. So our school in particular, like our middle school and high school is actually one school, and in our high school, we have this experimental pilot course. So people would actually be trained for becoming a commercial pilot when they grow up. And for me, back then, I always had this dream of flying, becoming a pilot. So when I was in middle school, I would just go to this. We have this club, also flight simulation club, and we would train for like those basically playing computer games, and later we would like have those competitions. But I had a lot of fun and I won some, but um, it's it's really something that um, I would remember for my middle school. And in respect to social life, um, like schools in China are usually um, pretty competitive.
Yeah.
And another thing is that like schools in China, we have this class system. So because there's hundreds of people in each grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
And students will vary a lot in their grade and in their like capability of learning.
Mm-hmm.
So we would in China, most schools have this division system where you first entry a school, you would have a test where you are basically split into different classes, and those classes are different from the class in the U.S. where you, for example, if you're good at math, you can take one level up math, right? BC or whatever. But in China, when you are split into different classes, actually you have basically you are living with all those people in your class,
So
and
this separates them by their academic.
yeah, all your classes are different than yeah. So I didn't take the entry test because I think I was having fun in the US at that time, and I was going into the lowest grade class. So it's quite interesting as being in that class because well, for one thing, I automatically become the student with the best grade. But it's just interesting to have becoming. It's just a great experience in general, I think. As opposed to if I were in a class with better grades, people were, I think, more friendly, and they play more.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. I don't really have much else to talk about for middle school.
Science fair was like the biggest.
Yeah.
Ooh, our ninth grade story with the whole school thing.
Oh yeah.
That was interesting. So, ninth grade, our middle school, about with like maybe 3 weeks
In March, I think.
In March. Oh, okay. So in March-ish, something happened. They say it was like electrical issues or something, but basically like the whole school was shut down and we were out for like a week, and then they decided to take us to other high schools nearby, like in our district. So ninth grade went to, or no, we were in
eighth grade.
we were in eighth grade. Yeah, okay. So eighth graders went to CB South, which was like 30 minutes away. So by the time we got there, we would have like it was already a shortened day. And they would do like make us sit there for a little bit and then take attendance, all that.
Mm-hmm.
So classes were like, instead of an hour, they were like a half hour, and most of it turned into a joke. Like we had finals, but people like cheated really bad. Most of the finals are even canceled. Yeah, that was just an interesting experience.
Eighth and ninth grade were, well, yeah, for in English class, I had a lot of fun making these different projects. Eighth grade, we had to make a video comparing the book Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde to like a modern day like setting, and me and my friends, we messed around with it, and it came up pretty funny at the end. And then in ninth grade, we had to like act as with partners. We would have to act as two different literature characters that we learned about in the ninth grade year, and we had to make a play about it. And I ended up screaming into the hallway, "I peed my pants." That was pretty funny. Yeah, and I guess we can move on to our life section, which is a whole lot more lines in our planner here. Okay, so yes, 2 days ago, I watched Justice League. Wait, no, that's not what I'm referencing. A week ago, I watched Detective Pikachu, and after that movie, I realized I couldn't really, like, movies were just awful to me because they bring me into this alternate like reality, into like a dream state, and it makes you feel happy at the time, but once it's over, you kind of realize how sad your life is and how your life is just reality. You can't do anything. You don't have any superpowers. You don't have a Pokemon partner. It just makes life seem uninteresting. It's yeah.
It's interesting that you say that, but I think right, indeed, like you don't have the superpower once you realize you're out of the movie. But I think what good movie just clicks for you is that even if you're watching a superhero movie, Spider-Man, Superman, they all have their weaknesses and they resonate with you. So I just feel like after watching some movies, you realize that all those people, great people, face all the challenge that you have every single day. So
yeah, I feel like those lessons are good for like younger people at a younger age because they kind of like fantasize about it or take away those lessons. But I've seen enough movies, I've learned enough lessons. It just gets it kind of depressing, and I'm really disappointed in how limited stuff I can do in this world. Yeah. One film in particular was actually a TV show called Outer Banks. I really don't want to say this because my parents will get really angry at me, but I ended up staying up until 7 a.m. to watch the whole show in one night. It changed me. Like, because at 7 a.m. you really have no sense of time, you have no sense of reality, so you're really immersed into the show. But then it also, like, it leaves too much to the imagination. Like, if you think, oh, if I lived in Outer Banks, if I had those experiences, like, how great my life would be. I mean, like, for an example, like if a human looks at a bird and be like, wow, it can fly, and then it realizes it doesn't have wings, so the human can't fly. Like it can inspire you to build a plane or something, but like even from Star Wars, where you see the Force and you just really want it, you're just disappointed in reality. Yeah. Also realize like it. We talked last time about time, right? Where it's just this big line, and we're all going through it. Do you guys think that there are like alternate dimensions or alternate realities where like if I did something different in the past, it could have ended something differently?
From a physics perspective, of course I'm not any physicist, but yeah, there are theories for extra dimensions. But from a philosophical standpoint, I think the better question to ask is, you have this event that you might regret in the past. Would you like to change it? Does changing it necessarily yields a better outcome?
I mean, what if it was like a second ago and you immediately regret it? Like, what if you punched somebody's head and you didn't mean it?
Well, then you got a problem. Time travel won't solve that.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like in my whole path of life, I've made significant mistakes that have ended up where I am now. And to get to the ideal life, like the perfect life, where I made all these right decisions, I had to not make any of those mistakes. And even like the phrase "everything happens for a reason," like something else could have happened if you had just done it right. And it just makes me feel like every time I feel disappointed in myself for doing something wrong, or like having like being at a bad part, like being shy, like I could have changed that if I just maybe started off with like saying stuff to people. Like I feel like first impressions are really important when it comes to social life, because if you come across as a shy person, like if you all of a sudden like jump out, be like, hey, let's talk, it's kind of weird for the other people, and they don't really accept it, kind of.
Not necessarily. You can try it.
Well, like in like a school setting with all these people that I know,
Yeah,
it feels really hard to break out of that shell.
That's true.
But I mean, I guess you gotta try it.
Yeah,
you gotta.
And some friend does help you, and some like extremely like talkative people are just so passionate about speaking to whoever, they're just gonna embrace you. So I think if you are a really shy person and trying to become more like an introvert, you can just choose the right person and talk to them. I think it really helps.
But I just feel like lots of conversations people are having these days are like completely meaningless. They're just just talking just to talk, and I feel like I only talk when it's necessary or when I have actually something to say. Except for like, oh, how are you doing? You're doing good. And then whenever somebody says like, oh, I went to the park the other day. You did? Like, did you really? Like, no, I was actually lying. I didn't go to the park. And like, that's not gonna happen. I feel like people just say stuff and it actually has very little meaning, but they just say it because they're too used to, or they hear people saying it. Going back to time, I'm gonna read out these statements that I've typed earlier, which I don't understand why I type them anymore. Time is the bearer of bad news. Time gives depression. Humans care too much for time. Yeah. When we're filming this podcast, we want it to be around 1 hour, but why? Like, why does time matter in that sense? Uh, Hours of sleep. Why do you need a certain amount of hours of sleep? Why do you care so much about the time? I don't know. That seems kind of dumb now. Reading this book.
Well, for something like sleeping, of course you need to. It's a biological thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like medical. That's like doctors or
Yeah.
people say like you need this much sleep to like function and.
Well, what
do
if
things.
if you think about time, like if you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I think I know what I was trying to say. Like thinking about your future, like you don't just get to this point. You don't just say, "Oh, when I grow up, I want to have kids." As I said last, I have kids, have a family, have a house, have a job. You have to work towards there, and I feel like sometimes we think too far in time, that it kind of blinds us from what's really in front of us, which is like the near future or the present. Um, Damn, I really should have wrote more down. I have no idea what I was thinking. Uh, I mean, I guess you're always running out of time because there's gonna be a certain date of death. You're not gonna live forever, and you've already started your ticking clock to death. And it's just depressing to think about. Just inching slowly towards death. Like you could think, oh, I really want to become this person great, but then you're just walking towards death as well.
That's some really depressing views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No.
if you really want to do something like write a book or do something,
It takes time.
yeah, but don't you think it
can transcend time, like
yeah, that's one point I'm not gonna say, but but like if you really love doing something, you love writing the book, then every single time you have time is when you can enjoy the most.
It's like worth it because you're doing something you like.
Yeah, and
it's time well spent.
Yeah, you're adding 1 hour of enjoying pure joy into your life. How's that?
I mean, same could be said with drug users. Like, oh, I feel great taking these drugs.
Yeah, but then with that 1 hour great, you also had like who knows how many hours of
suffering,
all that.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes I think, why don't I just play video games for the rest of my life? Like, because it would be probably a really short life, but just play until my heart's content, and then I die, and then it's just a happy life. Like my whole life's been happy. So, is it about the long life or the happy life? Like here for a good time or a long time?
I think.
I feel like you need a happy medium. Right?
Yeah, it has to be both.
Yeah, but then happy has multiple. There's multiple levels of happiness.
I mean, if there's temporary happiness, but it's my whole life, then is it temporary?
Or if you don't consider, for example, doing homework, doing hard work at your job, if you don't consider those things as suffering, then having the life that you had was a joy by itself.
So the goal of life is to suffer as least as possible.
Well, suffer is a relative term, right? You can be suffering.
But if you don't suffer your whole life, will that considered suffering your whole life? Because you didn't do anything good either.
How do you define something that's good? How do you define something that's
exactly.
proper to do in life?
What's the purpose of life? You have a good life, you have a non-suffering life. I feel like in that sense, everybody's life is the same. Like we all just lived it.
Well, I've been told that living a life, like the meaning of life is creating more values into this world.
Yeah, for when it eventually explodes.
But
But for future generations that will
Yeah.
eventually explode.
you don't necessarily care about the
The future?
yeah. I
That's
mean the future
way
in
too far.
billions of years.
Well,
I mean, you care about your families, you care about your friends, you care about your children, right? Those are immediate consequences of your hard work.
that's where I become a bad person. I feel like if I really thought about it, I don't care about anything, which sounds real lazy and stuff. But what makes me care about my family? What makes me love them? Where is the attraction? Because if it's attraction, then that's weird.
well,
But
no,
like it's a different kind of
yeah.
attraction. Like
What
you
where
love
does
them
it come from? For doing what?
everything they do for you.
For buying you stuff.
well,
No,
For
not
providing you
just
with food.
buying
For
things.
feeding you. For keeping you alive.
first, this is not just a characteristic that human beings have. Other animals have this as well. Like parents just take care of their children, and children. I mean, we are old people, and we build this kind of relationship with different people. And once the bond is strong enough, or we are just from families, we have this connection from birth. Then we automatically gain this feeling for each other. We care for each other, right?
Because we've helped them their whole life, so we want to continue helping them stay alive. Kind of feels like we're all just plants. We're just feeding each other. Like we're just pouring water on each other. Like, oh, I love. Like, where's love?
Well, it's more than just feeding and pouring water. There's like they care about you. They like
What?
like
Do you need them to display their affection?
they don't
Like,
need to. It's just
a
like
hug is love.
well, yeah, a hug is love, but it's also like there without a hug, because of everything. Well, not just that they've done, but like I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's the feeling of a family, of like safety, like security, like
Well, that's safety.
yeah. But anything
I lock
that...
myself up in a safe and I feel loved.
no.
So there's a quote from The Little Prince. Have you read that book or the
No.
movie? Okay. So it says the important things are invisible to the eyes, only to the heart.
But
so
can you actually feel it though? Like, do you feel love?
yeah, I feel love.
How do you feel it? I feel like a soulless person. Right?
No, when you see them, or like
When you see them,
you get happy.
what makes you happy about them?
If your brother walked down right now,
I would beat him up.
okay, you'd beat him up, but that's because you love him that much. It's weird to say.
Tell
No,
him
like,
to tell
okay,
the wife
when
beater, though.
Mark came, no, you can't say that. But when Mark came over, you were like last week. You're like, I'm so excited. I'm like
Yeah,
happy to
because
see him.
I
He's
feel like
family.
he can provide stuff for the pod.
Okay, well, not just that. You're happy to spend time with him. You're like.
Happy to spend time with him.
Alright, guys, I'm so sad now. I'm gonna leave this podcast. I'm so sorry, guys.
I just feel like love is a made up thing that we fabricated in our minds. Like it's
Okay, what
just-
about the other way? If Mark has to leave, wouldn't you feel like sad? Like...
Yeah, because he can't.
No, not just it.
Guys, I'm definitely I'm not even joking.
Mm. I feel like we're just vessels. Just. It's just like our consciousness. Where does that come from? Like it exists, but like we're just blood flowing through us. We have energy,
Yeah,
we have cells.
We have neurons that creates this whole network. It's so complex.
It's a network, but how does that create? We know we're there.
Because the network is so complex that you have like recurrent patterns in your brain, and this recurrent pattern can create thoughts. It is a complicated field, but we are studying it and we are getting a bit more understanding of our brain day by day. So
Hmm. Well then, what about love then? Where does that biologically come
If you think about this, through natural selection, right?
in? Okay.
Um, people or
Used
species,
to not have love, but the only ones with love would make
Yeah.
children.
yeah, they have better survival rate.
And then how was I born? Oh.
I feel sorry for you now.
Like you can release what are they called, endorphins, dopamine, or whatever it is. It makes you feel happy, but
yeah.
where does the attraction come in? Like you can
A
basically
lot of
if you're,
happy.
if you're getting this chemical and it's making your brain so active.
Yeah, I feel like that because we describe love as something like spiritual, like something out of body, when it's just chemicals releasing. Like I see you, I'm happy. I see you, I'm happy. And how is that love? Obviously, not that kind of love, but like when I see my brother, it might make me happy, but that's just chemical. There's nothing out. There's nothing out of body.
Yeah.
So it's just when I see you and I'm happy, it's just because chemicals and
Yeah,
probably
they are chemicals.
memories.
But that's us.
Well, I just feel. I'm pretty sure last time I mentioned, or maybe not, that I wouldn't be a good parent, and that's probably why. Like, the only connection I would have that, like, when somehow, when my wife has a baby, if I have a wife, if that ever happens, which is probably not gonna happen if she sees it.
Yeah.
If we have a baby, it's kind of weird now that I think about it. The only connection that I have is that he gave her me, which is that it's just like you're like it's like a tree, and then seeds fall off and they make another tree. It's like the tree's children, and then my offspring will just it's just a tiny little, and that's how babies are made.
Yeah.
That's my only connection to him. Like, he's just another vessel that was created based off of me. But why should I like him? Why should I love him? I think it's just because we feel like there's a responsibility that we have to take care of him. But that's just responsibility. I can take care of a plant. But do I love the plant because of it? Not really.
But do you ever say you love something to the end? Like, you love something so much that you want to protect it or to make more of it? Like, is there something in your life? Okay.
I love my kids, so I must make more.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, but just making more vessels.
For example, physical things, like if you like your laptop and you want to protect
Just
it,
the vessel. If it breaks, why would I? Where does the? I just can't figure out where the love is.
If it breaks, would you be sad?
Yes, I'll be. Well, where does sad? Where does all these feelings come from? I feel like feelings are just like consciousness.
I'm like thinking about that movie Inside Out.
Well, that
It's
just
all the-
that just describe.
There's just things.
Now your neurons have emotions.
It's
no,
just
it's
your whole
such
brain.
a complex network. It can generate patterns that are complex enough that is consciousness.
Complex patterns.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Just like how like the recent breakthrough in like artificial intelligence, right? The like mathematical models can behave like us. Like, for example, they can do image classification, whether this is a cat or a dog, and some better models like BERT it can actually create sentences that make sense, and each sentences have connection between each other. That's our human behavior, right?
Yeah.
Like writing sentences, writing in general is a very complex behavior that we originally thought only humans have, but using those mathematical models, we can actually do that too. Is that consciousness?
I mean, can robots have feelings?
Well, they have neural network just like us.
If they have neurons, then why don't they have feelings?
They can
How?
by writing.
Yeah, because it's just what people have. It's just the concepts that people have created of their feelings. And they've plugged it into the robot. There's no natural.
No, not necessarily. So what they do is actually, you have this model, and you have let's say Shakespeare's literature, and they feed all those work into the model. The model basically learns how the words are connecting with each other. The sentences.
Do they learn love from Shakespeare?
Well, when you know the connection between words, you have this general structure of how, because literature is full of emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you can connect emotions, when you can express it, does that make machines have emotion?
Like if you give a machine a job to protect something, and then you take the thing and then you break it, will it feel sad, or it's just gonna feel like it failed its job?
But the thing is that we behave like we have emotions because we are trained, like,
yeah,
natural selection, right?
I feel like emotions are just a concept that we have just imprinted on ourselves.
We are evolved to be like this, so we can interact with each other without harming, like, relatively.
Yeah, that's just communication.
Yeah, but if I'm really evil, if I have hatred in my heart, why would I be in this room and talking to you guys?
Well, yeah, hatred is I don't know. I think I'm pretty sure. Well, not pretty sure. I just think that all these feelings are concepts that we think, like, they do exist, but not how we think they exist. Like, they're not feelings. They're just, like, I don't know how to describe them.
Maybe like something that we as humans made up to
just to
express ourselves.
Yeah, kind of like words. I don't know. That's kind of. I don't know. Well, what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. Great. Next, going back to religion. I don't. Okay, what I wrote here is I don't want to turn to a religion because it's just a way of thinking and acting based on something someone else made. What do you think about religion?
I think, well, in the last episode we have this one sentence things, right? So I think I'm gonna use one sentence to religion is the essential part of human culture. That the question that whether religion is true or not, this question can be irrelevant. Okay, that might be 3 sentences.
Religions are just another concept that we've made that we believe are true,
right? But it's part of our human culture. People who are suffering always look towards religion, and it helps them to give hope for themselves and set a goal.
Yeah, but I feel, because I don't think I have that many struggles, which is perfectly fine to say. I just feel like I don't want to turn to a religion to tell me how to act, because it's not even created by, like, the God, or, well, it might be created by the God, but it's probably created by the person who wrote the book, which was not a God. maybe not a god. It just something somebody else made it, and why should I act that way? Not saying that I would break any laws or anything. It's just I don't feel like the morals are perfectly fine, but some of the stuff, some of the parts of religion, I just don't feel like is necessary. I don't know. I don't think I worded that right.
But there are also many religions in this world. You don't. I think.
Well, all of them point you in a direction. All of them have guidelines. Don't they?
Right. And some of them are so vastly different, like Taoism compared to other Judaism, Islam. Like, yes, sure, like people created those things, but it contains their culture, and that's important. That's inheritance for the human race.
Culture is.
You think about it. You resonate with the culture you grew up with.
But culture is just a pattern, or just a way of. It feels like it's just guidelines. Well, okay.
No, culture is
give
something that.
Give me an example of like culture. Yeah, I mean, I know what culture is, but.
Okay, tell me about your culture.
See, we eat is food. No,
food
not
is
not
an important part of culture.
Yeah, food is important.
Food, dress.
Food is just vessels that we put into our mouths. They make it different ways, but it's just vitamins and nutrients.
Yes, but it also contains love.
What makes like if I have this Chinese dish
Mm-hmm.
that I eat, what makes it Chinese? Because Chinese people made it.
Yeah, but it also has like different flavor. Like,
Different
what
flavor.
other food
It's
do you
just,
use soy sauce in?
you can use it
You
in different
can,
stuff.
but you don't.
Well,
Soy sauce is basically
What
like.
if I dump soy sauce into a glass of milk and I drink it?
That would
Is
be
there
nasty.
culture?
No, there's no culture.
There's no culture
because
there's no history.
yeah, but also like the food, like the Chinese food, like whatever that you eat, it's been eaten so many times by like people
Does
in
that
China.
make, like,
and it's been,
religion has been practiced so many times.
Exactly.
Does that make it like there true?
It doesn't need to be true as long as people believe it.
And people
I mean,
believe it
I'm an
because it's like
atheist, but like
Yeah.
still, it's how people are. It's how a country or a group of people are. You can't separate it from them. Without them, they're not themselves.
What if you separate everything from them, from everybody? There's no culture. It's just the pattern of how they've eaten their food, how they've danced their dance, how they've
What
made
they
their music.
eat, no matter what, is their culture. Yeah, sure. You get rid of I don't know, ballet, samba, but the dance they have left or they create is still their culture.
I guess you have a good point there. Here it says, I feel like there is no choice but to follow others' paths. Especially as a teen living here, you don't really think of doing anything different. Because we started this podcast, but it's a podcast. It's everybody else has. There's people who've done podcasts before. It's just talking into a camera. If you want to become a scientist, you're probably going to follow somebody's path. There aren't that many industries out there who are constantly innovating. Well, no, a lot of them are, but when you go into school and learn about it, it's usually just the same stuff as before. You're not really doing anything new.
But from an other perspective, if you make a podcast, you can make it different. You can make it special.
Yeah, but
it still has this creative part in it. And for me, when I'm looking, like, I don't want to become someone who has a job title. I want to do something, and that thing is my goal.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? Like you're probably gonna you're trying to do something that doesn't exist yet.
Not. Yes, I'm trying to do something. For example, I like computer science, and I want to create, let's say, this artificial intelligence thing.
Which is
No, I'm looking at, for example,
what are you gonna model your artificial intelligence on? Humans?
I can.
Because we're already there.
Yeah. So we this is some.
You're just copying.
If I.
You can improve it.
Yeah, it is improving people's life, right? Why do you have Alexa?
Alexa just acts like a human assistant. It probably activated. Okay, it doesn't.
It didn't do anything.
I feel like
it helps you. Improves human life.
All right, we're back. The GoPro ran out of battery, and now our emotions are back down again. So we're gonna have to get back into it. Okay, we already went through that. Here's time for our Would You Rather section. Yay! Finally, something fun, something lighthearted. Number 1. Not really a Would You Rather, but would you rather have summer? Oh yeah, that's a Would You Rather. I think I meant summer or winter.
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 Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Summer, it's too hot, too sticky, bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Winter, you can ski, you can snowboard, you can. It's just nice and cool. Like you don't really feel bad if it's extremely cold. You can just put stuff on.
Yeah.
But if it's really hot and you take stuff off and you're still sweating, it's uncomfortable.
In the winter time, like the holidays, festivals, yay.
Yeah, summer, it's kind of boring unless, like, you go to the beach, yeah. But I've never really liked the beach. All you do is get sand on your toes and then you can't get it off. You get wet and you come back out. I don't know, maybe if I did surfing or something like that, then I would be happier with
Crashed by the waves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year off your life?
Lose a year.
Oh.
Should I explain?
Yeah, go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, it depends when you go to jail.
Okay,
but
first of all, with this Would You Rather section, there's nothing about Would You Rather. It's just right now. I mean, no, nothing about depends. No depends, because that's like literally the cliche thing to go in with when you have a Would You Rather thing.
Okay. Still lose a year. Because if I went to jail, like that would just suck and be like depressing. And then when you get out, I don't know, you'd be like a year behind everybody, or like a year off your life basically. But if you lose a year, like when you're like 90 years old, like who cares? You're already 90. If you live till 89, like does it really make much of a difference?
Or better, if you are in prison when you're 1 year old, you don't remember anything.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not sure. I want to experience jail, to be honest, but I don't want to risk dying.
Yeah.
You know, because people get killed all the time in jail. Well, not all the
you
time.
go to juvie.
Yeah, you know, yeah, there'd be some badass kids in there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to mess with them, especially because I would be the shy guy. They'd be like punch you up just for the fun of it.
And bugs.
Yeah.
And prison food.
Yeah, but I feel like I could really focus on myself, reconstruct, like, be healthier.
Do.
You can work out in gym. I mean,
Okay, you
jail.
work out for a year.
Do you have to learn anything? I don't think you skip school for a year. Why not?
Yeah, and then you go back and you're like,
and
oh,
you're smarter
hey,
than everybody else
no.
because you're in the same grade as people who are younger than you.
Yeah, but then all your friends would already be in college or like a year ahead, and you're just stuck there with.
That one's a hard one. Let's all come up with a definitive answer each. I think I would. Yeah, I would lose a year.
Yeah, lose a year.
If I don't die in jail, I'll probably choose that. Because it's once again, great experience that you won't get elsewhere. And I think you will appreciate life more. You will value things more.
It's suffering. It's suffering.
It's suffering.
But is it truly suffering?
Yeah.
You're safe from all the active criminals.
Well, no,
I
that's not
mean,
true.
you're
Like
not-
you
you're safe.
don't know what you're expecting in prison.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like I love my family and. I don't love my family, so I'll go to jail and it doesn't matter. No. Well, let's just
Would
move.
you have your family go to jail?
No, because then I wouldn't have food. I wouldn't have any of this.
Once again, okay.
It's material goods that
It's
they
all the
provide.
material.
They give me material. I consume. I live. I'm just a vessel. Okay. Would you rather have all traffic lights you approach be green, or never have to stand in line again?
Why not?
Traffic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess you can drive now.
In a week. No, in
In
4 days.
4 days.
If I pass. Hopefully. No, I have them green because it's
Traffic
like
lights.
fun.
Green or never
Drive.
have to stand.
No need to stop.
Yeah.
Waiting in
Wait,
line.
what's
is
the
like,
difference?
Like stand in line as in like people. Like
Oh, that.
I don't mind lines. You can just text someone or like be on a phone call and just wait. in
Well,
line.
like what if you're at like Disney World and there's
Ugh.
tons of people in line? I feel like
Okay, but Disney World is like once a year, not even like every couple years.
like you go someplace, you just
Nothing has incredibly bad lines.
don't. I feel like it just
Voting posts.
Well, I don't care.
traffic lights. Okay, what does traffic lights approach be green mean? Like, oh, I guess that's a depends phrase. Let's not do that. I don't think I would want to stand in line, purely based on I can't drive yet, and I feel like if you hit a traffic light that's red, it gives you time to reflect on your life, your whole entire life that's led you up to that point that you've stopped. Like the time, like one mistake that you made when you were 5 years old, set your whole life back by 5 minutes, which you could have been 5 minutes earlier when the light was green. Great. Would you rather go back to age 5 with everything you know now, or know now everything your future self will learn?
Bruh.
Yeah, do you want to experience everything that you've experienced all over again? Which in my case, I'll probably die. Or know everything that your future would know?
Know the future.
Why?
Because I wouldn't. Because to be honest, I don't really care about the past. So.
Well, you're not really. It's not past. It's just you're just going back.
Wait, so would you like live through from age 5 with this brain?
Go back to age 5. Like 5-year-old body, knowledge of a 16.
Oh, I thought you mean by like someone in the future coming back to you and telling all the things that my future self knows.
That's the second.
Or
Yeah, the first one is going back to 5 years old body with 15, 16, 17. Wait, no, 15, 16, 18-year-old knowledge. And then.
that's gonna be disgusting.
Or know everything, like have all the knowledge you'll ever have.
All the knowledge might be nice.
But that's kind of like, I feel like the whole future stuff, knowing your future will just be awful.
I mean,
it doesn't even make sense because
The future of when you are dead.
no, everything your future self will learn. So everything you learn from now on. I don't know.
yeah, what if you could just walk around being like, I already know how to do my future job? Like,
Yeah, but then you already know what's gonna happen to you, and you're just going along that path.
I mean, it's gonna happen either way.
Yeah, that's the problem with
But-
like future stuff.
I think the growth between right now and all your future knowledge is a
lot.
big gap. Yeah, it's a lot compared to right now. Compared to like when you are just 5.
But would you rather want all that knowledge or just?
No, I don't think I'd want to know everything I know right now as a 5-year-old. Like, I was 5. I want to enjoy my life, not have all this
Yeah.
Well,
crap in my
you're
brain.
15 or 16, going to the rest of your life, and you know everything.
Yeah, you will probably be more optimistic.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like that's
Wait,
what to say.
With the 5-year-old or
The future.
the future, more optimistic. What if it's a depressing future?
Well, then at least you know.
Well, then that's just so sad. You know you're gonna be sad. You know you're.
Well, you know you're gonna. Well, first, can you change it?
Yeah, that's the problem with.
Oh yeah,
future
like
stuff.
if you already
If
know
you
what's gonna
change it,
happen,
then-
you'd be like,
It's just one of those alternate dimensions.
oh, I'm gonna get in a car crash today. I'll just not drive.
Yeah, but how do you know it then? And so it's just that those stuff just don't make sense. Would you rather be feared by all or loved by all? Let's just say not by all, like everybody in the world, but wherever you go.
Love.
Yeah, love.
I guess.
on,
I guess
what?
it doesn't. I don't think I can answer this question.
Oh,
I guess fear makes fear actually exists, right? Or does
it's an emotion, just like love.
Yeah, where does fear come from then? Let's
You're
talk.
scared. You're
What makes you scared about something?
because past experiences or something. Like I could be scared of
Yeah,
snakes
that's just
or something,
knowledge.
of bugs or something, because like stuff has happened.
It's just chemicals in your brain. Oh, last time this happened to me, it was bad.
Yeah,
and
memory.
now I'm
Like
gonna
you're
release,
scarred
like,
for
yeah.
life, something like that. Or like stuff you see like around like on the news or like social media and stuff, like school shooters or like natural disasters. You're scared of all
so-
that. 'cause-
I'd rather be the school shooter. Feared about. Would fear be
No.
like people like
People would run away from you.
Yeah.
You'd have no friends.
a police officer?
No, that's not a good.
That's not.
Feared by most. Let's not laugh about
Let's cut this part. Like,
No, we're not doing any cuts. That was just an honest mistake. We are very sorry for what we did.
I don't
That
think
was-
there's
that was the
turning
most-
back.
That was the most instant apology. Okay, let's just skip that one as well. Here we go. Would you rather swim 300 meters through poop? Because I'm not allowed to say the other word because we're too early in our YouTube career to get canceled. Not canceled, demonetized.
We
Yeah.
don't have
Can't even-
monetized.
Yeah.
yet.
There's no money to take away. Through poop or dead bodies?
I already chose dead bodies because if they're just dead 1 minute ago, it wouldn't matter that much.
Oh.
It's like hugging them.
Yeah.
Which makes it even worse. I feel like I would rather have all
Out of
dead
poop.
bodies.
Just pretend it's mud. You just go through it.
Yeah, would you keep your head above
Uh,
or under?
No.
What if you had to? It'd be just 300 meters, right? That's a long way. That's like 1, 2. There's like plenty of laps. Would you go for speed and put your head under the water,
No.
or would you rather?
That's nasty.
Would you go slowly
Slow.
through the poop?
Yeah. Oh, but the smell would be horrible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, no, the smell of both.
You need to breathe when you're swimming.
Breathe
like
from
a
your
swim-
mouth. Just go.
I guess.
But when
You
you're
can't-
But then what if you just
inside the
what if you splash and
Oh.
go?
exactly choose the dead bodies.
No, I
Dead
just
bodies is so-
feeling of touching it.
Yeah, I've
Dead
seen so
body,
many
like, what the-
movies where like Lord of the Rings. There's that like lake or river. I don't know. There's just a bunch of bodies. I think that like they were just recently dead or something, and they try to reach out. It's just disgusting. Think about just swimming through. You know what? They're just life. They're just vessels.
Everything's our vessels.
Yeah, they're just vessels. You know what? Dead bodies. What makes them dead? They just don't have life. But what's life? So doesn't really matter, I guess. Okay. Would you rather have a dog with a cat's personality or a cat with a dog's personality?
Dog with a cat.
Yep.
A Because
Hmm.
people love dogs and cats sleep all day.
But then that's not fun. I'd rather have a cat with a dog or
But
or
people
just.
don't like cats.
I mean,
And what if the cat was as hyper as a dog and like ran around being
yeah,
a cat?
that'd be great.
But also,
That's
like,
what I expected from cats when I didn't know that much about them. I expected cats. Oh, they're pets. They want to jump around, cuddle up with you,
no.
feel loved, even though I can't do that. Maybe I shouldn't get a pet when I grow up. Just a vessel that I feed and take on walks. Well, quite sad. Well, that was all for our Would You Rather section. Do you have anything else you guys would like to talk about?
You need a religion.
Yeah.
See, that's what I don't like, because that's just somebody telling me what I'm supposed to do.
You need some guidance.
But then that's just following somebody else. I want to do something on my own, but I don't know what to do.
Okay, well, like, most religions aren't that confining.
Well,
They'll just give you a little bit, like a pat.
I have morals. Like, I'm not gonna punch you in the face just because I feel like it. Or if you make me angry. Like, what else would religions give me then?
The meaning of life. I mean, it's just right. It can be fake, but as
everything
long as
you believe in, as long as you believe in it, it's real to you.
yeah, you can. So you have a meaning to life. You are more optimistic. You don't make. Yeah.
So then
that's important. That's
you're
enjoying your
happier.
life.
You're happier going into death.
No,
That's
happier going through life.
And eventually to death.
Through life.
Oh, you know what?
But death isn't a bad thing. It's just part of the cycle of life.
Cycle? Are you Hindu just like him now?
No.
Well, what do you mean cycle of life? It's just for other people to do it.
Yeah, so
They're not
okay.
me.
Okay, so your life is a linear, right? It's not a cycle. It doesn't goes back to itself. But still, it's a process. You don't need to connect emotions to it. This is the point where you don't need to connect any emotion. You know. Look, if you're feared by other people, you're not loved, then going into death isn't that horrible?
What do you feel during death? You sure don't feel anything at all.
Yeah, but we're just talking about like what you feel before death, because that's
right before death.
Yeah.
Because that matters.
Yeah, that matters.
And then once you die, gone.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So why don't I just play video games all day and then die?
But there's so much thing out there
So much things out there
that excites you, like
video games.
Like going around the world,
Not
like
really.
diving into the ocean, like seeing
Visiting
those
those
fish.
culture. I just don't know what to do with my life. I feel like, okay, what do you want to do with your life then?
I'm interested in artificial intelligence, so.
Not just about your job. Like,
no, but that's something I like. Look, that's something I like. It's not a job I have to do. It's just I'm doing this right now because I love it, not because I'm.
Because you love it, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
You love the robots. You wanna
yeah,
maybe they're the robots.
Maybe robots have emotions. Well,
robots will only have emotions if you give them, and if then it's still not real.
What do you mean not real?
It's real that you program them to feel not
you,
feel that way, just act that way.
But you don't even consider your emotions real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can love a robot because we both have no emotion.
Exactly, but like love isn't like a spiritual thing. It isn't like an out of body thing. It's just
what you feel.
Belief.
It is a chemical. It is a belief, right?
You believe that you love them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like you believe in God. God isn't there. Love isn't there, but you believe in
Love is something that we describe. That is how we feel when the chemicals are released.
No,
Hope you-
that chemicals are released, then that just stimulates our mind.
And that's how we feel happy or sad.
But that's just stimulating us.
Yeah, and feeling comes from
Where's
us.
the connection?
Because our. What do you mean? Where's the connection?
Where's because you gotta love something, right? You don't just love and then you have good feelings.
Yeah, you need to love something.
Yeah, so where's the connect? How do they? How do they? How do you love? Okay. Well.
Do you like a girl?
Do I like a girl?
Yeah.
I sure don't love a girl.
Or okay, boys. We are.
No. Okay. You know what? I don't know. I don't know what I like. Maybe it's just physical attract. Like I believe. Not I believe. Physical attraction is there
Mhm.
because they have these features that release chemicals in you.
Yeah.
But where's the emotional?
When you talk to them, you connect with them.
Oh, I could have a life with you. That's not really emotions. It's just I can see myself doing things with you. Like you go on a date, you say I love you. What does that mean? Like I think you could be the perfect vessel to create another vessel, to feed our vessels, to make money for our vessels. You know, and I don't really even care if people watch this podcast and judge me, or judge any of us. Doesn't matter. You know, this is because if they have feelings towards me, they're fake. You can't hate me. You can't love me either.
You can be feared though.
You can hit me, but I'll stay safe in my home. And cyberbullying, you're just typing words, and I see the words. If I choose to believe that you are actually, if I choose to believe that if I believe that there's emotions coming towards me, and if I believe those emotions can affect me, which is pretty much what everybody else is doing, right? Because if I say like, "Oh, I love you, Mark," and then you hear those words, you believe that there is love there, and then you feel love, but it's not. These fake sound so. If you fake, it's not fake. It's just a belief. Just like you can't say religion is fake because religion is there. They have the books. They have the teachings. But
isn't belief a passive thing? You like believing something is, for example, if you want to believe in God, then someone has to tell you that there is a God and induce you into believing that there is a God. But what that difference from emotion is that you feel emotions without somebody it's
when you grew up as a child,
Mhm.
people around you taught emotions. Because let's just say if you see your parents, one of them says like, "Well, I'm breaking up with you," they leave, and when you grow up, somebody else breaks up with you. You saw how your parents acted. They acted sad, so you act sad. We're just actors. We're all
Yeah, but it also brings something out in you. Like it's not because
Bring-
you
in
feel
act-
sad. Like your parents aren't broken up, but if you got like in the future, if someone broke up with you,
because
you
I've seen
feel-
other people getting broken up. Like people can feel like pain is like an actual thing. Because like
because it's physical. But it's like
Yeah, but emotional pain, that's just taught. It's kind of like racism. Because like there's so many. I've seen so many posts out there like, we see each other when we were like little babies, we would have no problem with each other, but we've been taught to like dislike each other because of our race, because of our skin color. And I feel like that's kind of it's not the same exact thing as emotions, but
I mean, racism is a negative emotion based on
racism
the
is a
color.
belief that
Yeah,
people have taught
that
each other.
creates an emotion, hatred, right? Discrimination is hatred towards people who have certain types of skin color.
Well, it's also like, where does hate can only be expressed with actions, though.
No, you don't need to.
Other things.
How do you show somebody that you hate them?
Words. Words can
Which is
hurt.
actions.
Okay.
You can't just be like,
You.
and they'll be like,
you-
oh, you hate me.
Does that matter? Whether if you show action or not?
I mean, without it, then there's no hate. Like, if you didn't show any actions that you hated me, then I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but that's because you don't see my hatred towards you. Maybe this person have hatred towards you, but you just don't see it. Does that mean there's no racism?
There.
If like
Okay, let's just say you have a bunch of white people, you have a bunch of African American people, and the African American shows up in their shop, they serve them normally. Is there racism? What if the person really hated that person, but just served them normally? Is there racism there?
No. Because they think about it, but like everyone has thoughts. Everyone thinks like bad things or has
But
like
the actions are the ones that.
yeah, the actions of what people see.
But the one thing is that you can't always hide your action, and from another perspective, your action affects how you feel about something too.
But actions are taught.
You can change your action.
Like, because if I didn't know like hate, I would punch somebody, or if I just hug them.
You won't, because when you hate, you release this chemical that kicks the fight and was it
Fight or flight.
yeah action into you. So
But I feel like that's just not
that's your behavior. That's human behavior.
behavior, which is action from what people have taught you or from what you've seen.
No, when you're
It's not
just
like-
born, you will cry when you don't have any help. You don't have someone to care for you, then you will cry, right? Or when somebody
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
right?
Yeah.
Just, I mean, that's just. Yeah. I guess you're not really taught that or shown that.
Yeah, it's part of us.
Wait, but babies, they see their mother when they first come out,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have this emotional attractions type stuff, right? And when their mom leaves, they cry.
Yeah, but they're not taught that. They can't learn. They're a baby. It's just
Yeah.
how they are. It's
I
how.
forgot where I was going with. Do you think they love their mother? Do babies love their mothers?
First of all, they couldn't.
They can't love.
No,
Yeah.
maybe their brain isn't. For example, a newborn baby.
They haven't
Mine-
been taught enough.
No, their brain might not be complex enough to generate those thoughts, or we cannot create a situation where we can reflect this behavior of the baby. Or you can say like, well, babies can't even like their eyes can't even focus if you're too out of range. They can just focus like at 40 centimeters.
Like
So like
yeah.
they don't have all their sensories developed yet. So you wouldn't like consider newborn baby as your like in your example, but for example, a baby who is I'm guessing 3 or 4 years old, like when his or her parents are being attacked or
like a dog when they see their owners attack.
yeah, sure, and they will cry, right? Or the parents are having a fight, right? They're getting divorced. The baby will also have this, like the emotion will be passed on, and this is not something that we are taught. And also the fact that, for example, when I smile to you, you also smile back.
Because I'm taught that.
No?
I'm taught that behavior.
Okay, control that.
Yeah. Well, I've already been taught that. It's not within my control.
Okay, no, but little babies smile too. Like when you like have a
Yeah.
toy or something, they're not taught to
Yeah,
smile.
because that's stimulated by the sounds of the toy and the motion of the toy.
And how does that connect to?
I feel like that's
joy,
just
happiness?
instinct. That's just
Yeah, instinct.
evolution. But that's
This
just
is
like
instinct too. When I smile.
What if? Do you think a baby could be taught to, whenever somebody smiles at them, they frown or they feel sad?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Because that's just
It's just not how it is.
It's not how it is. But it's also like we copy. Isn't there like a thing like we copy or like mimic?
Yeah, facial
We like
expression.
that person.
Mhm.
Like we like tend to like copy like the way they're like standing or the way they're talking or
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like so, if you see someone smile, you're gonna smile back at them.
I feel like that's just our brain processing the image, putting it on our own face.
That's instinct. And you also release chemical if they are smiling. Okay, another sense. How do you explain yawning?
Yawning?
Yeah. It spreads, right? Why would someone why would someone teach you to yawn when other people yawn? Nobody would teach you. Exactly. And it's some kind of instinct in us.
I don't think is there like a scientific study out there that yawns are contagious?
Yeah.
Because I've only ever heard it from people just telling me yawns are contagious.
Even dogs will yawn when you yawn.
What if that's just? What if you're just?
I don't want to yawn. Stop.
Why does it say yawns are contagious? Like, let's pull up a study then. Okay. Let's keep talking in between so we don't have to cut it. Okay.
Yawning. Yawning.
Why are yawns contagious? Okay, let's see. Contagious yawning is triggered involuntarily when we observe another person's yawn. Is a common form of echophenomena. Echophenomena. The automatic imitation of another's words or actions. Okay, and it's not just humans. Chimpanzees and dogs do it too.
Right?
I feel like that's different from feeling.
Well, when chimpanzees smile, the other chimpanzees will smile too.
Because they see millions of people come to their window each day and smile at them.
No, what about wild chimpanzees?
Yeah, they can smile, but does that mean they're truly happy? Or is it just a mask? Wait, let me... like this.
Okay. Another like example is that, jeez.
Let's show the camera real quick. Like this image right here. Let's see if you can see that. Oh, I don't care. I mean, I can't see. Whatever.
Okay, I just forgot my example. Great.
How can you compare yawning to emotion, though? Yawning's just an action. Like, it's like a twitch. Like,
Okay.
it's like if the doctor hits a mallet, just kick out. That's not emotion.
Yeah, okay.
Might
How about this? Your argument is that every emotions we experience are taught by other people, right?
like we've seen it.
Right, we've
Like
seen
the action's based on our emotion.
right.
Yeah.
We've seen this action being taken, and we understand that when something happens, we have to have this kind of emotion, and we need to do a certain action. We're taught like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if someone is not taught, or what if an animal is not taught? For example, you'll always hear stories about like researchers saves a panda from its natural environment because it might be having disease or the it's just a newborn panda and it's taken away from the parents or just a mother panda. So when this panda grow up and have a baby, it will still care for its child, and that's emotion that's from its instinct. Although it might have trouble like taking care of um, its child, like how to handle them, but she still has like she still cares about them and she still tries to protect them. When researchers try to take away the baby, the mother panda will be like furious. This is just part of our instinct, not only as human, but
Because we're just losing something.
like losing a baby.
I mean, like somebody takes your pencil, you're gonna be angry, right?
Well, there are different levels of
It's-
angry.
I think it's just the pain. It's not really emotional pain. It's not really physical pain. Just it's just I don't know how to say it. I really wish like if there was somebody like coming towards me, I would really want them to like go away. That would be real nice. That was just a crazy thought that just popped in my mind. I have no idea why I said that. Maybe I should say it again. Sometimes I have these sensations where I feel like there's something coming towards me, and I just try to push it away as far as I can. Like, because if they keep coming closer, I'm probably gonna strangle them in the neck and like crack their head open because I have no idea what they're doing. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm just not gonna let it happen ever again. What else do we have then? I mean, we haven't really resolved our whole discussion on emotion. I just feel like we're all puppets. We're all vessels and puppets. We imitate stuff that we see around us. Whether that's like actions based off your emotion.
What about anger? If I slap you, you won't be able to control your
That's because I feel physical pain. That like.
Well, that triggers an emotion.
Yeah, if you let's just not say hit. Let's say if you flick a baby in the head. Well,
That's even worse.
Okay. What if you hurt a baby?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna cry.
But will it fight back?
No,
It
'cause
probably
can't.
can't.
If there's a baby's hand, and I squeezed it real hard, and I left my hand there, would it go? Would it slap me? I feel like baby learns that from if it does something bad and I hit it, then that's where it comes from. It's just imitating like what you did to it. Like Newton said, everything everything has every force has an equal and every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Yeah. That's just like I kick you, you're probably gonna kick me back. If you don't kick me back, that means you have been taught that. Just
Not necessarily. I mean, if you first say taught, I think we are
like taught, like seen it, like experienced it, like they know what to do.
What if you just learn from experiments, from yourself? Like, for example, if the last time when I kicked someone, I got beaten, then I won't do it again.
Yeah, because you've been taught that your action will have a consequence, and that hurt you, so you don't want to do it. Like that's physical pain.
Okay, how about fear? You are probably scared of spiders, snakes,
Isn't there like
because there's actually if you have a bunch of pictures and scroll through them very quickly, people can identify the presence of snake and spiders much more quickly than other pictures. So if you just scroll through a list of photos very quickly, you won't notice anything except for those dangerous things.
so like I'm attracted to them. My only love is my fear. Fear isn't there like a chemical that releases when you have fear, or is it just fight or flight instinct?
There's definitely a chemical release. Then it triggers
Chemical release.
yeah, adrenaline becomes higher when you're scared.
Yeah. Yeah. How do people are babies taught to fear spiders? If they see a spider,
They will try.
why?
Would
Well,
they?
that's probably because they don't know what it is. They don't know what it could do. Fear. I think fear is like
you can
the
search
unknown,
it up.
right?
I think they
Fear.
will cry.
Or it's like experience. Like if something is
Like there
danger.
are instincts inside of us.
Yeah. Like if there was a guy who came to your house and killed your parents, you'd be afraid of the guy.
Okay. How about this? I know I'm getting controversial, but for like in the past, homosexual people won't be able to like they don't usually see people like them. So if they have emotions towards the same sex, this is definitely not taught, right? Yet they still feel love. How do you explain that?
I feel like you've led me down the perfect path of getting canceled. I just don't. I guess there's something about it just gives them the chemical release. I don't know where they get the chemical release from.
Well, it's probably in their genes, because one study showed that if you are the third or fourth child, like the later on, like if you're like older, I mean, if you're the youngest siblings, you have a higher chance of being a homosexual than.
Let's not laugh about that.
That's true, and there's research that supports it, and there's a theory why we would have this,
Is it like 100%?
I mean, I'm not sure. Like,
Or aren't you like the youngest sibling?
no, wait. I should be the oldest, right?
You're the youngest sibling. Do you have any siblings?
Well,
Do you have any siblings?
no. What I really
Exactly.
mean is that, like, first and second is less, has less, like, percentage of homosexual than, like, if you're seventh or eighth, right? That's a little bit extreme, but that's the pattern. That's the trend. The later on you come into this family, the more likely you will be a homosexual.
I feel like we shouldn't delve into this because people say like it's a choice or it's like it's an argument between like it's a choice if it's a choice where it's you've had it or if you learn it or if it even doesn't exist. People argue about that. I feel like that's too much of a sensitive topic for us to cover right now.
And
We're too young for this.
I mean,
We don't have.
not just that, like, I mean, first of all, I'm not a homosexual, so I don't have like the right
Yeah, you don't know
to
why.
comment.
Yeah,
I just know the research, so I can't comment on behalf of their feelings.
Yeah, you can't put words into their mouth. You don't know how they feel. You don't know why they. Maybe we should get one on as a guest. I don't know. I don't know many. I mean, I'm pretty sure we have one like sitting right there, but let's not talk about that.
That's not good.
Research. All I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to truly know. Like, how do I know what is real or not? Because everything I've known is pretty much what I've been taught. Right.
Well, isn't what you believe is real?
Yeah, it's just like
How is perception different from reality?
Yeah, like we see these different colors, you could see different colors than me. It's strange.
Perception becomes reality. And when you have a large group of people who have the same belief as you are, and as an individual, what is true or not really doesn't matter to you, right? Because whether this thing is true or not does not depend on you, right? So what you believe of what you think is the only source of truth, in the sense of like you're only seeing this world from your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So what you perceive as reality.
Well, okay. Well, we said we're gonna ask everybody the same. Everybody comes on the same question. Well, not the same question, but discuss about the same topic about the consciousness stuff. Like in the whole stretch of things, if humans didn't have consciousness, would there be the universe at all? Would it exist? Because it's only what we believe in, right? And if we don't believe in anything, then nothing, right? Nothing.
Yeah, if humans doesn't have consciousness in the first place, we won't be having this conversation about the universe because we don't even know the universe, and we won't be talking to each other. So
could there be whole other universe out there where nobody knows anything that's going on? Just I guess if nobody knows it's there, then it's not there.
Yeah.
If if I don't know about this rock that is
Because
outside?
because you are a person. You're not the world. That's
Just
why,
the vessel.
right? But still, you can have emotional vessels.
Well, it's just we're just digging ourselves into a deeper hole. I think we can wrap it up for there. I think we've done a good job. We'll be here next week. We might be. I think we could be doing more than one episode per week if time permits and scheduling permits. We'll make sure to have a bit more interesting would you rather section next time because that was awful. I mean, I'll admit I prepared that part and that was not the best. Maybe we'll have a different kind of question and answer thing. Yep. It's been good.
Yeah. All right.
Ethan Zhang.
Fraj Katari.
Mark, and I'm leaving this meeting right now because I'm hurt.
Is he really hurt or is he just believing in that? We'll find out after we turn off this recording.